Hi everyone, we're here at the Brightfield Business Hub at the HubCast with me, Michelle Craig, and with us today we have Daron Harvey from TargaWeb. He is going to let us know what it is that he does and how he can help you. Hello Daron.
Hey, how are you?
I'm good, thank you. Nice to see you again.
Yeah, I think I was more awake when we last spoke. I think I've had about three hours sleep last night. So
what have you been up to?
I don't know. Nothing was keeping me awake apart from I think the sleep fairies kind of missed me out. They didn't sprinkle their magic dust on me, and I had to just put up with it. So,
oh, okay. We'll leave that
but,
there.
I was supposed to come in like looking radiant and filling the place with glow, but no, I look like I've been exhumed. But
no,
anyway,
absolutely fine. You're busy working.
Let's move on. Oh yeah, I'm right. So I'm good.
Good.
Thank
so
you.
let's hear about what it is that you do.
Well, TargaWeb's my little baby, who's nearly 5 years old now, so probably about ready to start primary school, really, I guess. Yeah, it was like a return for me anyway. It was a return to freelancing, building websites, because I started building websites way back in 1996.
Oh, okay.
Which makes me like a bit of a veteran, I suppose.
Yeah, it's been a while.
Yeah. Mind you, that doesn't mean that you should get these little visions of me coming in a Zimmer frame and let's make another website today. But it's nothing like that. And I know the great thing is I still love doing what I do, which is good. But I did 4 years. A little bit of a potted history.
Yeah.
If you're interested.
Yeah.
If you're not, you're going to hear it.
Oh, okay.
But 4 years between 96 and 2000, and in September 2000, Hertz, the car rental company.
Yes.
They found me and invited me to go and join their e-commerce team and build their global e-commerce platform. Not my own. It was a good collaborative team effort, but yeah, that was great. And that was actually my introduction to dynamic websites, because before I was just building what you call static websites for a lot of local companies and some not so local. It was really good. And I was there for 21 years.
Wow.
I wore a lot of hats, which, with one head and lots of hats, made me very tall. Including, apart from the development stuff, particularly in the first, maybe 6 to 8 years. But I was franchisee manager. It was like bringing on loads of franchisees for Hertz, mostly around Europe, but some global as well, including down as in the APAC region.
Okay.
Australia, New Zealand, Korea, Taiwan, a lot of them. By the time I'd left, the Hertz web platform, the main platform, had 28 different languages on it.
Wow.
Most of them were, like not imported, but onboarded by me. So there was that. Corporate partner managers as well. So when airline companies have their booking platform, I'm talking about Air France, Air Lingus, Etihad, Qatar Airways, Ryanair, BMI Baby, and many others. Mm-hmm. When people are booking their tickets for flights, then you've probably seen yourself that you can book a car rental alongside it. So getting ourselves integrated with them as well. So that was quite a responsibility. But although right through this I was always on the reservation development and management. Told you I wore a lot of hats. But from about 2014, I was given this role, in addition to everything else, which, I don't know, I wish I could make it sound interesting, but it turned out to be really useful, because ourselves, Hertz, and lots of other major car rental companies were being hammered by the EU Commission, the CMA, and other governing bodies around the world to be more compliant, more transparent. Told you it was interesting, didn't I?
No, it's fine.
Actually, I was actually flown over to Austin to speak about this stuff, and I can't remember what year that was in. But anyway, I was given the spot of talking about this immediately after the lunch, and the lunch consisted of a buffet thing, and I'm standing by the buffet, which is not unusual for me. and then the screen came up, right? It was on a projector, and I thought, there's my screen, and everyone, most people anyway, went, So I thought, okay, well, yeah, because all it said was something like international compliance or something like that.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, they could have
and everyone huffed.
Well, they could have made it sexier than that. But anyway, so I needed to get their attention somehow. So I just went to the front. I said, look, can you guys give me a break, please? Because I said, this is the sexiest part of my job since they removed the pole dancing thing from the office, and now I've got nothing. So you're going to listen. But it was it went down well. And the point is, I was there to talk to a lot of the senior management and people from other companies as well, because it's important to be transparent about your pricing and things. Now, that is really what I'm doing now, but I'll come on to that in a sec. A lot of companies don't put their prices on the websites.
That's right.
And in some cases it makes sense for them not to. In other cases, well, they kind of should. But an e-commerce platform like Hertz, well, you can't rent a car unless you know what you're paying. So they have to have prices on there. But it's not as transparent as you would think, because the point that the CMA and the EU Commission were making was that the headline price, like when you see the vehicle and you see the price next to it, that's the price that you need to pay. It needs to be inclusive of like taxes and other mandatory charges, but that is not the same everywhere. Because I don't know if you've been to the States on holiday, for example.
I have. Yeah.
If you go into Curry's and you pick up a toaster for £40, that's what you pay when you go to the checkout. If you pick up one for $40 there, you probably pay $46 because you've got the sales tax. That's how the US work on their website, and that's what US customers expect. UK customers and most customers around the world don't expect that. They want to know what the price is. But then you've got other things that get added on, like if you pick up a child seat or you take out additional insurance or something like that, those prices also need to include the the taxes and other mandatory charges. And it was not as straightforward as you might think. And so it was quite easy that somebody would select a child seat, add, let's say, 30, or what they thought was 30 quid to the rental, and they didn't realise that it's actually now gone up by like £32.70 or something like that. So where's the extra money coming from? So there was a lot of transparency that I was responsible for kind of bringing to the table with Hertz. And I played a huge part on that basis. The last project I was really working on before I left, just after COVID, was $150 million. So again, $150 million. I've got to impress you somehow.
That's some number.
I've got to impress you somehow. But yeah, it was this big digital transformation project that I was back and forth to the States with. We got a head office in Estero in Florida. So maybe 6 to 8 times a year I'll be over there, and to New York, the offices in Newark, near New Jersey. Lots and lots of international travel because of this.
I was going to say, it sounds like you travelled a bit.
Yeah. It was fun until it kind of got a little bit tedious. And in addition to this, by the way, I live in Weston near Spalding.
Okay.
I'm pointing because it's over there somewhere, right? But I travelled down to Uxbridge. It's 110 miles each way.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Every day. So it was like up at 4, leave the house at 4:30, get to the office at something like 7:15, and in at the gym for a while, and you think, when's the last time you went in the gym, Darren? It can't have been that recent.
I certainly haven't been in there for a while.
Well, you've got one at home. I've got a little gym at home,
right next
in the office.
Well, there's no excuse then.
Well, thank you very much. But maybe I should just get. I've got the receipt. I'll get it back. Clearly, the gym doesn't work for me. So anyway, I left post-COVID. That big $150 million project didn't actually.
What was it again?
What, the project?
No, the amount.
$150 million.
We got that again. Yep.
Yeah. I'll tell you later. I'll give you it in writing as well. But I went back to freelancing, building websites, but with a whole ton of knowledge that I have acquired over 21 years with Hertz. But then it was like a rude awakening, really, because on the very first day, like when I announced it on LinkedIn, my cousin called. I was just about to walk into Matland of all places, and she said, "Oh, I see you doing. You're back on the web design, blah blah blah." I said, "Yeah. Can you have a look at our website? What's your rates?" And all these kind of questions. So I said, "Right, okay. Let me have a look when I get home." And she said, because maybe we can use you for our web design, because she said, we've got we get a lot of inquiries, but quite honestly, Daron, we ourselves, when they ask. I said, well, why is that? She said, because we have to keep outsourcing it, and we can't find anyone who's actually any good.
Oh, okay.
So I said, anyway, I'll have a look at your website. And when I did, I thought, man, this is kind of every flavour of wrong. That's what it seemed like. She didn't like to hear it, but that was the honest truth. And that, now this might mean absolutely zero to you, and it probably will make any web designers listening to this think, right, the guy is a bit of a, like, he must have been living in a parallel universe and just kind of come down to earth. Because it is the thing, with all that experience, and by then it was about 25 years, I've never heard of WordPress.
You haven't?
I hadn't.
Oh.
I have now.
Yeah, you hadn't.
I hadn't heard of WordPress. So when people, and Sharon, my cousin, that website that she was working for a company, that was built on WordPress, and I thought, well, this is just like a mess. But then I realised very quickly that WordPress and others, you've got Wix and Squarespace and other stuff too, allow some fairly inexperienced, I'm being polite about it, but this is the fact, fairly inexperienced people to be able to produce websites quickly and quite cheaply.
Yeah.
So I was up against them, which was weird, because I came out with tons of experience, very, very, very detailed stuff, enterprise level. So when people were coming to me and asking for a quote, obviously they'd have to give me some information, and I go back with them, like a banging offer, really, really good, I thought. But then they come back and say, well, there's a guy around the corner that can do it for half that.
Oh, wow.
And I'm thinking, now, I didn't say this out loud, but in my mind I'm thinking, who's the guy around the corner? who do they think they're talking to? But the problem was, and this is a real one for a lot of businesses outside of web design as well, is that a lot of things have become commoditized. And when you've got a commoditized offering, then the only thing that differentiates you from the competition is price.
Yeah.
So how do you convince somebody that what you are doing, which is kind of, let's say, probably 2, 3, 4, maybe even 10 times what some of these lads are doing in their spare room, like dragging images and content into WordPress templates and press and go and say, "Hi, I'm a web designer. I'll do your website for 200 or 300 quid." Well, you can't run a business like that. Now, if you think about it, Michelle, if I was to do websites for 300 quid, how many websites do you think I need to do a week or a month to stay in business?
Well,
pretty much one a day.
Yeah.
Really, because there's not many people who are self-employed or run a business who are quite happy to work for 300 quid a day.
Oh, yeah.
You get it?
Yeah.
So, and I was actually, I don't know if you know a guy called Adam Stott. He had a big event going on. Like he does normally. I was right at the front, and he knew that I built websites, and he mentioned several times me and in context of websites, and he was saying to the guy, so it doesn't really cost an awful lot to get your website done, and you've got Daron down the front here, you want to come and have a chat with him. But then I said to him in the lunch break, I said, "Adam, how many websites do you think I'm going to have to build to stay in business?" I said, 5 a week, 20 a month. 100, I can't do the maths now, but over the course of a year, I said I'm going to have all of those websites to manage and more coming. I said it's not sustainable, Adam. And a lot of those people that build these cheap ones are not around for very long either, but more come along. So the competition is very tight.
Yeah, so there are a lot of web designers out there, aren't there?
Yeah, I mean, if I was to go web designers in Spalding or something like that, you'd find more of them than plumbers, which is uncomfortable to live with. But I needed to find some way of differentiating myself.
Yeah.
And back to back to the transparency thing that I did with Hertz, about making it clear to your potential customers why you charge what you charge. What's included. What it's even good for upsells and things like that. I believed in being completely transparent about it.
Yeah, of course.
So I built a calculator for my website, TargaWeb.com. old plug. It had a tiered. Actually, there were fixed price things, tiered, gold, silver, and bronze, and an interactive calculator, so people could like select what they needed.
Yeah.
There was a little help icon which explained what these things were and why it was beneficial to have them. Blah 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 blah. And it also had things like payment plans on it as well. So every quote that it generated was completely bespoke, based on what people wanted. And the payment plan was based on the quote. So it could be like a deposit of this, and then a second payment and a third payment, and when they were due, everything was completely bespoke, and the customer could email it to themselves just at a click. And I would also get the email.
Yeah.
So it was great for lead gen for me.
Yeah.
And that was working a treat.
And so that sounds quite good, having that on there with, payment plan. And
Yeah. So this is what happened, right? Because it still hadn't dawned on me that I was sitting on a little golden nugget. I just put it on the website to help me get some work in, and being like transparent and all that stuff. But when an existing client, like a website client of mine, sent me a link via WhatsApp, he said to me, "Here, Daron, can you take a look at this link, and can you do what this guy's done on his website?" And I didn't know what to look. I knew, click the link, and it wasn't a competitor. That website was for a company in London, but they got a calculator. I thought, hey, I can do that. So I went ahead and did it. Actually, I did a little bit of research as well, because I didn't really know his industry as well as I did, and we had some really good talks about it, and that was quite enlightening for him as well, because he kind of realised as we were going through these conversations. See, I'm sounding serious now. It's not like me at all, is it? But yeah, but he realised that a lot of the way that he was quoting, and he's got a company, like he's got a fleet of people out there in vans doing their thing, for like domestic and commercial work, and he kind of realised that a lot of the time he's kind of winging it. Okay. So there was inconsistency in how he was doing it, and it was taking time, which is really why he wanted the calculator. So I built one for him, and he actually came out to the office, which is in the house, and I showed him it, and he went, "That does so much more than that other one that I showed you." I said, "Yeah, I know." I said, "But check your phone." And he got the phone and he went, "Oh, he sent me the quote." I said, "Yeah." I said, "Look here," and I put it up on my machine. I said, "I've got it as well." So I said, "So now you've got a good lead generation, because when people email their own quote to themselves, you get it. And if you haven't heard from them, you can follow it up." And he went, "Oh, that's amazing." And then he had a bit of a brainwave, which I'm glad he has these brainwaves, because I wouldn't have realised it. Like I said, I was sitting on what felt like a dormant golden nugget, because I needed to differentiate, and this was the thing. This was the first thing. So he said to me, "Can my lads use this?" I said, "Meaning what, Neil?" And he said, "Well, while I've got my lads out on site, if somebody comes up to them and says, "Can I have a quote? Could I use it?" I said, "Yeah, they can go to the website, but I'll do something better for you." So I actually took his calculator with all the clever stuff in it as well, and I made it into a version that if he accesses it by a certain way, it strips out all of the website stuff and gets him and his employees directly to the to his calculator. Directly. So I've even got it on the phone. You just hit a little icon on the phone screen, bang, you're straight in there, and you can generate a quote within like 30 seconds. But the other thing is, because he was realising that Mrs. Miggins, who lives at number 54, isn't going to be walking around with an 8 metre tape rule to measure things, but his lads were. So again, depending on the type of calculator, whether it's the customer facing or the staff facing versions, he would see things that the customer wouldn't see, including, for example, a list of his employees, because they can select their name, which is great for him because he's got sales targets that they've been measuring it against. I'm still sounding very serious, Michelle.
You are.
And it also personalises the email, Duncan from Pure Clean, blah 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 blah, and it's nice and personal. It really works for him. He loves it, and that was really my wake up, because I've realised that all of this commoditised website stuff, which I was kind of competing against reluctantly, I didn't need to worry about that. So I've built these things, and they work on other people's websites. Not websites that I've built, well, of course they do, but if you've got a website or someone, even a WordPress website, it will work on those. So my target audience completely changed, because I was no longer looking at small businesses who were looking for websites. They were always looking for cheap ones. These are for companies, regardless of where they are and the size and what type, who want something interactive for their potential clients to be able to get either estimates or quotes and sales staff.
That was going to be one of my questions.
Yeah.
Is that mainly larger businesses that use
Not necessarily. It could be a local plumber, for example, or it could be a law firm, accountancy company. I don't know, anyone who basically has to price work for people. The reality is, though, that some jobs cannot be quoted fully. There needs to be some kind of, let's say, not in all cases, but there needs to be some kind of on-site inspection, for example, or a conversation to be had. But broadly speaking, you can at least give, if you can't give it totally accurately, you can at least give a ballpark figure.
Yeah, that's right.
Based on customer selections and things. But it works a treat, irrespective of company size. And if it's a sizable company that has got a sales team, and they don't even want this on the website, it doesn't matter, because they can have it on their screen. Just answering
that's good.
inquiries
It's a good idea,
and things.
that. I've not had anyone talk about that sort of thing before.
And it's actually become a big thing, because I think it was about 2017, Marcus, what's his name? Can't remember. It'll come to me. Marcus Sheridan. He brought out a book called They Ask You Answer, which I first heard about in this very establishment. Rupert Turton was kind of talking about it, and I thought, okay, what's all this? And when I was reading it, I thought, well, this is a bit like what I was doing with Hertz on the transparency stuff, with pricing and important information in the right places and FAQs and all that stuff. And it's been updated now to a new version, which is simply called Endless Customers, because this kind of attacks the problem from a perspective of, for example, when you go to Google, right? Let's say that somebody's searching for this place now. In the olden days, which in internet terms is like 6 months ago, right? They'd be putting something like I don't know, office space Peterborough.
Right.
That's right. And then you'd hope that somewhere in that list of results
that would come up.
Now, if they could put looking for an office space in Peterborough that's got enough room for, let's say, 60 people, great for events, and they can put their criterion. AI now answers it for you. So people aren't leaving the Google search page; they're looking at the results generated by AI, and usually they can now get what they need from the search page without clicking on websites. So with traditional SEO stuff, which was really like, I want traffic to come to my website, it's not happening now. It's kind of fallen off a cliff. So all of that stuff has changed. And when Marcus Sheridan brought out the new version called Endless Customers, it was kind of attacking it from that perspective as well. So there's a lot's changed in the web.
I'm sure.
I'm kind of glad I know about it, because I know there's an awful lot of people that are still making websites that haven't got a clue.
That's true. That is actually true. And this AI is a big thing everywhere now, isn't it? I must admit, I use AI. I don't use it a lot, but I will use it a little bit just to help me out with a few things. But it is a real big thing now.
I'm using it to really good effect, but when I was building chatbots like a year ago, I kind of jumped on the bandwagon unashamedly, right? Because I thought, right, this is the next big thing, and it kind of was. But I said I had gold, silver, and bronze packages for the web design. This was like pre-calculator stuff, really. I was amazed at how good it was, because I could say, what's your cheapest web package, and it would come back with a bronze. What does it include? And it would list them. What has the silver got that the bronze hasn't got? It would explain all this stuff. And it was also saying like extra 340 quid or whatever it was. I don't know, but I was really amazed at it. But then the platform, I won't name them because I'll get slapped. But they actually, I think they introduced maybe 7, 8, maybe even more in February of last year, and it went through so many changes so quickly that when I was messaging their CEO, I was asking him, have all these things been tested and he assured me that they had. But what happened in reality, Michelle, was without me touching a single thing, it started saying that my bronze, silver, and gold packages were priced differently in dollars, weren't, and they included stuff that they didn't include.
Oh, right.
And then I had a client come to me to say, Daron, what the heck have you done with my chatbot? It's talking absolute rubbish. So the point is that, and it's a serious point as well, that if you've got something or somebody who's talking about your business in a way that is completely false, then there's going to be problems.
Yeah.
And I couldn't trust it anymore. So I moved away from chatbots. So when I've had people, and I have, saying, oh, you should do, like your calculators, you should do these using AI, I just don't trust it.
Yeah, I must admit, a lot of people do say they are a bit wary on some things to use it for.
I don't know whether my fears are, well-founded, but I've got bitten once, and I don't want to just kind of experiment with it and do things for people who are going to pay me money and then rely on it to
that's
help
the thing.
get the
If
business.
You've been bitten
If it's not reliable, I don't want to.
Yeah, no, that's fair enough. Yeah, because you want to be giving people the right information and all those sort of details. Yeah. But certainly a lot of information there, Daron. A lot of good stuff.
Yeah. And I don't do pole dancing. I was.
I don't know. You said it now.
I was lying about that.
You said it now.
Yeah.
So I know you've already plugged it once already, but if anyone wants to get in contact with you, how would they do that?
999. TargaWeb.com. That's spelled TargaWeb.com. But equally on LinkedIn, I'm sure that Michelle will pop a link to me somewhere in the write-up or whatever. But I'm easy to reach, and even if you Google me, spelled Daron, I'm sure you'll find me. Yeah, see, that's different, isn't it? The spelling of your name. My mum didn't have a clue. So I think what I'll do is, if you give me some links, I can drop them in the description. So when this goes out, people can see how to contact you. And they can contact you if you want to ask Daron any questions about his TargaWeb and how it might help you and your business. So thanks for that today, Daron. It was nice to speak to you. Yeah, it must have been. See ya. Bye. See you. Thank you.